Yeah, I think it started. I think we're good.
I got the message. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so let's get started. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Daniel. Daniel Timota. I work in the Membership and Student Services Department. And with me today is Sam Brindley. He is an ex-student of the International Certificate in Operational Risk Management, and he is also now one of our module coaches and also a course developer. He helped developing the new version of the International Certificate in Operational Risk Management. Thank you all for coming. Today we're going to be speaking about our international certificates, which are the one that I just mentioned, operational risk, and then we have one in enterprise risk management and one in financial services. Just a little bit of an agenda so you know what we're going to talk about. First, I will just introduce the Institute a little bit, and for those of you that don't know it, and then Sam will speak about his experience as a student and how has helped in his career. Obviously, he's working with us now, so I imagine it has helped a good deal. And then he will be presenting the course content for the operational risk management course. Then I will take over and I will speak about the enterprise risk management and financial services course. And then there will be a little bit of time to just explain how the process works in terms of enrollment, what support you get as a student. And there will be a little bit of time for questions and answers. In regard to that, I would say any questions that you have, please put them in the chat and we will go through it in the last 10-15 minutes. So we won't have time to be responding as we go, but we will definitely read them at the end and respond. Anything that we don't have time to answer here, we will get in touch with the person that has asked the question individually. After this as well, there will be a follow-up email for everyone that has attended. Just I imagine you are all aware, but anyone that because this was promoted in the invitations, I believe, for the webinar, but anyone that after the webinar wants to enroll in the International Certificate in Operational Risk Management will get a discount of £100. So the standard price is $850. So if you enroll before the 22nd of November, the price will be $750, which is a great benefit for attending the webinar. And also for the enterprise risk management course, anyone that signs up also before the 22nd of November will get a discount of £100 as well in the blended learning option if they want to add it on top of the course. So let's get started with the presentation itself. The Institute of Risk Management has been for a while the leading professional body for enterprise risk management. We were founded in 1986 and we have more than 9,000 members. A lot of our members come from students that we get every year. So we have, I would say, around probably 700 new students every year. 700-800 students every year, and a lot of our students stay with us after they have finished their courses as members. We have presence all over the world, as you can see, in 146 countries. We have a lot of professional certified risk managers all over the world. It says here as well, we have more than 30 interest groups. So once you join as a student or as a member, you have the option to join one of our interest groups or regional groups that the interest groups are divided in specific industries. So for example, if you work in digital, in cyber risk, or in climate change, we have interest groups for every sector really. This is just continuation of the slide before. We do have presence all over the world. We have an affiliate in India, and we also have an affiliate that is opening in Africa, in Kenya now. And then these are some partners that we work with. So as you can see, we have some big companies that work with us, like Barclays, BBC, Deloitte, Zurich Insurance, a lot of big companies that we do business with, and they send regularly students to us. So Sam, this is your part. I just would like to ask you how your experience was as a student, and then how that has helped for you to build your career and to get where you are now. So
that sounds good. And cheers for the intro, Daniel, and good morning and probably good afternoon and good evening to everyone, depending on where you are in the world. As Daniel said, I'm Sam. I'm a former student of ICORM, so something that I very kind of like fondly remember. Daniel, I don't know if you're able to still share the slides. You're able to share them, and if you can flick them through.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. Sorry, I couldn't see you, so that's why I stopped sharing. But I'll share again. Sorry about that. Let me share.
So in the meantime, so I'm currently a risk manager at an organization called Revolut, which is typically kind of financial services and much more. We offer services in multiple kind of different areas to all kind of four corners of the globe, really. My role is around all things risk management, so enterprise risk and operational risk for subscription plans. So they are plans in which people pay monthly or annually and get a number of benefits, which are kind of fantastic initiatives. The other area I look after is under 18 accounts. So from a risk perspective, clearly there's things around vulnerable customers, data protection, execution for people under kind of 18, again, different ages across the globe. And I'm also kind of head of risk for insurance kind of distribution within Revolut as well. So very much a kind of corrective measure that our customers appreciate as a part of their pay plans for things like travel insurance, whether you go kind of skiing in the winter, whether you go on holiday in the summer. Also looking after insurance around things like everyday protection. So, you buy a new phone, you're not sure what insurance covers it. All of that is kind of covered from an insurance perspective with Revolut. And then finally, from a day-to-day perspective, I look after corporate insurance for Revolut. So making sure that Revolut as an organization and as a bunch of entities are protected from various different risk types that if they were to happen, we'd obviously need to manage and address and then be reimbursed by insurance. I've been at Revolut probably just over 18 months, and my time at Revolut started just after I completed my my ICORM qualification. Daniel, I'm sure we've kind of spoken on this before, but I have very fond memories of the qualification itself. And before today, I just wrote down a couple of things that ICORM gave me. First was it was a very solid foundation into operational risk. And I think foundation is the wrong word, but I can't think of the correct word. What it gave me was a very clear, comprehensive, detailed, but likewise broad view of what operational risk is and what good looks like with respect to operational risk. I'd been in operational risk from a graduate age in Santander for 4 years. I'd then gone for 2 years to work in a fintech and built up their risk framework from scratch. And different people from different kind of corners of the world and different walks of life talked about operational risk and enterprise risk in different ways. But what I found the qualification gave me was really a gold standard into very high level, what is risk? Then diving into operational risk. Well, what is it that we mean by that? And then going forward, things like, okay, how is it that we can identify, assess, manage operational risk? And then it goes a step deeper into kind of the very hands-on approach, giving practical guidance. Okay, so we understand what the risk is now, how it can impact us, how it doesn't impact us. The next step was, how do we control that? What are the practical things that we can do? And my kind of memories of ICORM, and I think I will touch perhaps on the next slide around the iterations of the next version of ICORM, which is out now for students to sign up to. My kind of abiding memory was, yes, it was theoretical, which was great. It was easy to understand, and it really organized my thinking in terms of what operational risk is, but also what operational risk was not. But it also gave practical examples, right? It's great to be able to pass a test and have a qualification, and that in and of itself has benefits. But actually, I found it really improved my day-to-day in terms of how I was able to manage operational risk and how I was able to influence others to help them manage operational risk and enterprise risk as well. So a personal benefit and a benefit for the organizations for which I worked as well. And then just very quickly, as I say, I'm a former student, and I've helped the guys in a course developer role for ICORM, iterating the next version of this qualification, really bringing it, excuse me, not only up to speed, making sure that it's fit for purpose, but I think here we've developed a course that is fit for future as well. Not only fit for future, but fit for people from all over the world, and also actually different organizations as well. I think just whilst we move on to the next slide, there's a very kind of perhaps common misconception across operational risk that it only exists in financial services. And I think that's perhaps a school of thought which is outdated. And what we've tried to do with ICORM is really make sure that it is appropriate and applicable for people that work in all sorts of different kind of walks of life. So just on ICORM then, so as we said, we've revamped ICORM. We've used a number of kind of subject matter experts from, again, different walks of life and different geographies as well, to improve and to enhance the qualification. It covers the full spectrum of operational risk. So we start in the areas of, again, what is operational risk? We then move into, well, how does that start to impact organizations? And when I mentioned earlier the various different kind of organizations and industries that operational risk touches upon, we start to go into the people, the process, the systems, the events. Where does operational risk stem from? What does it look like? And how can we kind of identify it, assess it, and manage it? And the good news is for hopefully people on this call, most of you will be in finance, I'm sure, but all other industries have, exposure to people, process, system, and external event risk. So I think ICORM does a really good job of tying all that together at the very outset, and really getting people off on a very strong foundation. And then we move into some of the stuff that we've tried to make more practical, and, as I say, kind of fit for use in everyday life. So we go into things like controls, things like indicators, things like the risk appetite. What does that look like? How does risk appetite differ for different organizations, different geographies, different industries? But how do we tie that back to the common kind of theme and nomenclature of operational risk? And then what we also do is as we move through, what we've tried to do is recognize that in risk in general, but in operational and in enterprise risk, sometimes things can go wrong, and often do go wrong. In our organization, we think of those as things that have moved outside of risk appetite. So we wanted to really kind of like tease that out in ICORM. I see, Daniel, we've got an extra visitor on the webinar. What we've tried to do is we've tried to tease that out in ICORM. So we say, look, we appreciate an operational risk that things go wrong. And actually, operational risk management, a large part of that is managing when things move out of appetite. So there's pieces in there that are around, what does culture and appetite look like? But then it moves into, well, how do we manage when things go out of risk appetite? So things like incident management, things like management of control gaps, and what is a control gap? Things like managing findings from people like internal audit, external audit, compliance assurance, any other kind of areas whereby perhaps an organization feels like we've moved out of risk appetite. We try and tie that all together and say, look, here's how the operational risk kind of life cycle can be overlaid to manage that, so that you as students and you as kind of risk professionals feel confident in being able to say, I can manage risk, but I can also manage when the risk has moved outside of appetite. And actually, we need to do something to kind of bring that back. And then also what I'll probably just touch upon, Daniel, if that's okay, is one of the key kind of things that we've really tried to improve, and I think we've done a good job of, is how we are utilizing data and bringing that really into the operational risk lifecycle.
Sorry, Sam. Sorry to cut you. I'm not sharing what slide you are. I got a bit distracted with the crazy cat. Me, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Are you here or are you in the next one?
No, let's stick on this one. It's fine. To be fair, I think I've kind of jumped about, but the slides are quite high level, so hopefully we're okay.
Yeah, I'll stay here. Just let me know, please, so I can.
This one's absolutely perfect. That's fine. Yeah. That's all good. So yeah, what we've tried to do is tie in how the world now better utilizes more data in various different places, and higher quality data, and tie that into things like indicators. So whether that's a risk indicator telling us that something is where something is relative to risk appetite, whether it's a control indicator telling us how good we are at controlling something before the risk materializes, or actually whether it's a performance indicator and telling us how something is performing. And what we've tried to do is tie all of that together. And the reason we've tried to do that is to be able to demonstrate that operational risk and enterprise risk aren't just reactive, and they're not just something that only happens kind of after the fact, but actually that both risk types are important and necessary for businesses to grow, both geographically, but from a product perspective, also from a revenue perspective, and to grow in control. It's not about growth at any cost. Operational enterprise risk can be used and should be used as an enabler to help organizations to grow. So we've tried to very much tie that in as well. And then, Dan, if you just pop onto the next slide for me very quickly. I think I've got just 1 or 2 moments left. There we go. Yeah, perfect. This is great. New course improvements. I think I've touched upon a couple of these already, but again, just to give examples, or to give you the high level first, what ICORM does is it sets the gold standard for operational risk management. As I say, appropriate for people from all over the world, appropriate for people in various different industries. It gives both the academic, but it also gives the practical. So, as I say, passing the test is great. Everybody wants to pass the test and have a qualification indexed to their name for the Institute of Risk Management. But I've personally found, and I hope other students have found as well, the qualification helps themselves in their own role, which in turn helps the organization to benefit as well. So Daniel, that was just a very high level. As I say, we've touched on things like data. We've tried to make this qualification fit for purpose and fit for future. And as I say, as a former student, look back with really fond memories of how the qualification was able to give me a great foundation in those areas, arrange my kind of like thinking in what those areas are. And that's only benefited kind of the organizations that I've worked for as well. And look, just to loop back and finally to point back to the IRM, a lot of people in, organizations see the IRM, recognize what it is, what it stands for, and recognizes that it's a leader in its field in terms of risk management. So a qualification from the Institute of Risk Management, I think, as I say, beneficial for your own career and perhaps beneficial in the long term as well.
Thank you very much, Sam. I was going to ask you how, because obviously you said your current job, you got it shortly after doing the course. Were you already working in the industry and then you decided to maybe get like a professional certification, or was it the first time that you had an interest in risk? How did it happen?
I've done a few qualifications in the past, whether that's through kind of my organization or through the IRM. I found that operational risk was something that was becoming much more kind of prominent in the fintech space in which I was working, and different people had different ideas of what operational risk was. We'd be preparing for something, we'd be preparing for a launch, preparing for an expansion, and people would say, things like, "Oh, that's a risk," or "Oh, I think that's high risk," or "No, we don't need to worry about that. That's low risk." And it got me thinking, well, what is it that those people mean? And as I say, what really helped me was this organization and this qualification allowed me to arrange my thinking, fill in the gaps, and then be able to kind of like lead and say, right, like when you say that, what do you mean? Do you mean high likelihood? Do you mean high impact? Is it in appetite? Is it out of appetite? Does it differ by geography? Does it differ by people? So I knew that this would be something that would be beneficial to help both fill in the gaps and arrange that thinking. And I think there are a couple of questions that I can probably just touch on that have just come in. So let me just make sure that I'm going right to the start. Dorsula, I'll start with yours if that's okay, because I think you popped up just as I was speaking. Do we need job experience before enrolling? Dan, I think the qualification is pitched at level 4. Am I correct?
Yes, level 4, exactly.
Level 4.
Yes.
So I think
it is. Yeah, no, sorry. So, I mean, it is designed for people that don't have any any previous background in risk. So you can, most of our students, in all fairness, that's why I was asking you as well, most of them come maybe from doing a little bit of risk in their current positions, and they just want to solidify that, or they want to like make their way up a little bit. So in most cases, they have a little bit of knowledge about risk, but the qualification is designed for people from all backgrounds. So you don't necessarily need anything.
No, it makes absolute sense. And then Todd, I think you've asked, is ICORM suitable for those working in the public sector? Again, we designed this to be very agnostic of whether it's public, private, or the charitable sector. It really does just focus on like what gold standard looks like for operational risk management. So if you're exposed in your kind of like day to day, and I would hazard a guess that you are, to risks that can cause losses in various different ways from people, from processes, from systems, and from external events, then I would say that yes, ICORM is appropriate in that sense. And then Anthony, I think you just asked, you've just started on your IRM cert course. How does ICORM build, and what will I learn and be exposed to? That if you've started the old course, I think it was called CORM as opposed to ICORM. This is an iteration of that. The principles are the same. The gold standard in which risk can and should be managed are the same. Really, what we've tried to do is kind of iterate and improve on much of those.
And also, in regard to Anthony's question, because I think you mentioned IRM cert, so maybe you're doing the ERM or FS courses. So if you are doing one of those courses, ICORM, the one that we are speaking now, it's level 4, and the ones that you are doing, if it's ERM or FS, is level 5. So I would say ICORM would not build on ERM. They're actually standalone courses, so they're not related. So I wouldn't say either that ERM continues on what you have learned on ICORM. They both will give you a base, but they are standalone courses because they touch different branches within risk, if you will.
No, it makes sense. Thanks for clarifying that. And then Jagpreet, I think as I was speaking, you said how many hours a week you expected to study. Dan, I'll let you answer that, but I will just say from when I was studying, I studied. I tracked my kind of hours that I studied. Hour in the morning, hour after breakfast on weekends, and an hour in the evening. And once I met the required, I think it's total qualification time, I felt very prepared to take the exam, and then taking the exam felt confident while I was in the exam as well. So by aligning to the TQT, I personally felt in a really good place to be able to take the exam and to understand the content as well.
Thank you. So yes, the guidance that we give is that there is a minimum of 150 hours to study when you take the course. So that is why once you enroll, you can't actually take your exam in the first 3 months. So the first 3 months are blocked for you to study, and you're supposed to. It's precisely because you're supposed to cover that amount of hours, 150, and after 3 months, you will be able to take your exam in the session that you choose. Let me see, I think, because we have a couple of questions more here, I think we can just finish with these questions, and then after I present ERM and FS, we can have some more questions. So there's someone asking, if you enroll more than one person and book a group of people, will the 100 discount apply to the whole group? I would recommend for you to enroll people individually because it's just easier. I mean, if you let us know in advance and you say, look, we're a group of 5 people, we will give you the discount for each person individually. Yeah, but make sure that you let us know before going ahead and signing. So because if we're going to create an invoice for 5 people and we need to, apply a £500 discount, obviously we need to know beforehand. In Australia, Dorsila in Australia, we don't have any affiliate there. At the moment, we have one in India, and an office has just opened in Kenya. And then, are there any other questions that we haven't covered?
I think Dinesh said, can you please clarify the study materials for ICORM? They're all included, aren't they, Dan? It's all online, all laid out kind of logically and sequentially, so everything you need will be there.
Yeah, so once you enroll, you get access to the course, and you will find everything there. Is the exam online and always available? So no, the exam, you will do it in person. We have 4 times a year where you can take your exams. These are March, June, September, and December. There is certain flexibility. So, for example, when you enroll, if you were to enroll now in November, you would get booked or enroll for the first available exam session from now. So that would be March, because obviously the first 3 months, as we said, you cannot take your exam. So you initially get booked for March. If you see that that is not enough time and you want to delay it to June, then you just let us know and you can change exam session free of charge. So in that sense, it does have certain flexibility that we don't do with other courses. And this was kind of to respect the fact that with the previous version of the course, students, it had a different format, so students could take the exam anywhere within a year. In person, where someone else is asking, we have Person View. Well, we have partnered with Person View, so they have test centers literally all over the world. So wherever you are, there will be a test center not too far from you. And I think that's it. I noticed that core textbooks are not included in the course. Are these required? And if so, how much are they? Also, is the exam included in the enrollment fee? So about the textbooks, we have different options. So for ERM and FS, sorry for, let me see 1 second. Okay, I think I need to stop reading the questions, guys, and then continue at the end, because otherwise it's going to get a little bit confusing. But in regard to the core textbooks, what we do is when students enroll, we send with the enrollment confirmation a reading list. There is usually one main textbook that you need to buy. It is not included in the fee. We don't sell it either. We have a discount code that you can use if you buy the books with the publisher, so from their website. And usually, I would say the books are never more than, I would say, around 35, 40 pounds. So if you need to buy one, that would be the cost. For ICORM, the course that we were speaking about now, there is one book only that you need to buy. So if you want, what we can do is in the follow-up email, we will also send the reading list, so you can have a look beforehand to the books. And now I'm just going to close the window of the chat, guys, and we will continue later so we can stay kind of on time. And I will share the presentation again. And I can take it from there. Thank you very much, Sam, by the way. Okay. Confirm for me, guys, that you can see the screen. Okay, everything good. This is this last slide about the certificate in the international certificate in operational risk management. I didn't mention, but basically CIOR is the post-nominal that you would get when you finish the course. So it is basically what shows that you are a certified professional, and you can, when you go to LinkedIn or places like that, and most people show post-nominals that show the courses and the background that they have, the qualifications that they have. So now I'm going to speak a little bit about the enterprise course and financial enterprise risk management course and financial services risk management. Obviously, I'm not a module coach or a course developer like Sam, so I don't have the knowledge in risk, but I manage the membership and student services department. So basically, we are here to support the students all the way from the moment they inquire for information to the moment they take their exams. And we give you access to the course. I mean, we deal with the whole administration side of the course. Usually we have one of our module coaches attending as well, but she was not able to do it today, so I will cover her part. Just so you can see, well, before I go into detail, just to mention, both ERM and FS share the same module 1. So module 1 will be the same for both courses, and the module 2 is specific for each course. So in ERM, module 2 will be specific for enterprise risk management, and in FS, the same. Module 2 will be for financial services. So module 1 for both courses, as you can see, there are 6 units. It's supposed to be around 180 hours of study per module. And then what you would be seeing would be key concepts of risk management, just, as to cover the basics to start with. Then you have some strategic planning, context objectives and risk assessment, managing, monitoring, and reporting risks, risk culture and appetite. This you also see it in the international certificate in operational risk management, as Sam was saying before. And then you would get some corporate governance and risk assurance. This is module 1. As you can see, the assessment format. In module 1, you have one exam that is multiple choice question format. So you have 60 questions that you need to answer in 90 minutes. This is what you will be doing in the test center in person. So you just go there, you do it in a computer. There is an invigilator. So you take the exam maybe with other people that are taking other exams. and this is the only part that you have to actually go somewhere to do in person. The second part, the second component of module 1 would be a written assignment that is 60% of the final mark, as you can see. And it's actually a short assignment. It's not very long. It's around 2,000 words. And this you submitted by Moodle, which is the virtual learning environment that we use. So once you complete your enrollment, we give you access to the course, and it's just in Moodle. I don't know if some of you might have worked with Moodle before, but it's just maybe like Canvas. It's just a virtual learning environment where you can host the course, activities. Yeah. Something.
No, I was just moving along.
Okay. So that would be module 1 for both courses. And then module 2 for enterprise risk management. You can see it's 6 more units. So in total, the course has 12. And here you would see risk and strategy, sustainability, resilience, approaches to risk management, embedding and maintaining risk management, and you would finish the course with risk management competencies. The assessment format in module 2 is different. It's just 2 written assignments, so there are no exams for module 2. And the assignments are also around 2,000 words. So just to recap, module 1 is 1 exam and 1 assignment. Module 2 are 2 assignments. So in total, in the course, you would have 3 written assignments and 1 exam. What was I going to say about the assignments? What I was going to say is, even though you do 1 exam and 1 assignment for module 1 and 2 assignments for module 2, you do study both modules together. So for example, if you enroll in the course now, you would be doing it for the June assessment session. So that means that you would have your exam for module 1 in June, and then also at the end of June, it would be the submission deadline for your 3 assignments. So for the assignments, you get specific questions. They're not like open topics where you have to, to pretty much be super creative and choose how to go about things, but actually they give you a very specific task. So 3 months before the submission deadline, so this is like around April, the questions for the tasks, for the assignments would be published in the virtual learning environment. And then the 3 last months of the term per se, you would be able to work in the assignments. So this is done. So from here to April, you can just focus on cover all the units and study. And then in the last 3 months, you can work on the assignments and then submit them once you are ready. You don't have to wait until June to submit them. You can just submit them when you're ready. Module 2 of financial services. The first one, we've already seen it, obviously. And the second one, as you can see, is specific for financial services, and it would cover regulation in the financial services sector, financial risk, introducing operational risk in financial services sector, specific operational risks in financial sector, resilience, and sustainability. I think this part might share a little bit of content with the course that Sam was presenting with the certificate in operational risk management. And then the same as for enterprise risk, the assessment format is 1 exam and 1 assignment for module 2 and 2 assignments for module, one exam and 1 assignment for module 1 and 2 assignments for module 2. Everything is exactly the same. You submit them by Moodle and you take the exam in person in June if you enroll in this cohort. Some of the support that you get when you're doing the course, or some of the resources that you will get, obviously the virtual learning environment that I was talking about. There you will find the course itself. You will find activities in each unit to practice, at the end of the course, you also have a sample exam question, sample exam paper, sorry, that will emulate the same format as the exam that you would be taking in person. So basically, it's just an exam so you can practice with the same type of questions. You have a discussion forum that you can use to speak to other students, or some students, when they have a doubt or something, they ask like, "Hey guys, anyone else having or being a little bit stuck with this? What are your ideas?" We have had students that have organized study groups before through the discussion forum. And also some students use the discussion forum to ask the module coach questions. So if you think that your question may be of help to other students, you can post it in the discussion forum, and then all the students will see the module coach answer. Obviously, as you can see, the module coach is another resource or different support that you have. They are usually very fast answering questions. They get notified when you post something on the discussion forum. And then you will also have some videos and webinars. So depending on what course it is, some of the videos are pre-recorded, some videos happen live. So for example, with ERM and FS, because there are assignments, written assignments, the live webinars are focused on these written assignments because it's what usually people need a little bit more support with. And then there are other videos that you will find in the platform already pre-recorded. And then the dedicated student support team is just the team that I work with. We deal with everything related to the administration of the course, and also we have the exams team that can help with any queries related to the exams. As I mentioned in the beginning, there is a blended learning option for the enterprise risk management course, and this is an add-on, so it doesn't come included in the course fee. If you want this, it is separate, and this is what you would be getting a discount of £100 if you want to sign for it before the 22nd of November. So as you can see, there are 4 workshops. This would happen during the term. So I believe the first one, all the schedule is on our website. And if you're interested in it, obviously, we can provide you with the specific information. But usually the workshops would happen, I believe, in March or in February and April, something like that. The first one is an induction. You kind of have an overview of both modules. Then the second one goes, the second and third workshops, they go more in detail. And then the fourth workshop is all about revising and also getting ready for the exams. These workshops are done virtually, but they are live. You have an instructor that you can ask questions in the moment, and it's pretty much like attending a lesson, basically. And then just quickly on how you go, how your journey will be, because I think, I need to speed up a little bit. So basically, I mean, it is pretty straightforward, but once you enroll, then you just need to focus on study. This is self-directed distance learning. So even though you have the module coach that you can rely on to ask questions about the topic, so you're not on your own, you will still be doing distance learning. So you will have to study at home on your own time, and you will be in charge of organizing your studies. Then once you are ready, you will take your exams and assignments, and then after that, usually the results are announced after, depending on the course, but it's usually 2 months. So if you take your exams in June, the results will be published in September. And then if you have completed your course, as I was saying before, if you did the operational risk management course, you would get the postnominal CIOR, which means Certified Institute of Operational Risk Practitioner. And if you do the ERM or FS courses, you would get the postnominal IRM cert, which is IRM certified. And that's it. You don't need any prior requirements. As I said earlier, for FS and ERM, it's 180 to 200 hours per module. And then you have the option of doing the blended learning. To enroll, it's very easy. You can just go to our website. There is a section of the website that is qualifications, and if you click on there, or if you are in any of the pages for any specific course, you will find a lot of buttons to click and apply now, and that will take you to this website that is this page that is called joining, and that's, you just have like a drop down, select the course that you want to go with, and then it's pretty straightforward. You just fill your details. You can get an invoice if you prefer to pay later, or if your company is sponsoring, you can pass the invoice to them, and then they can make a bank transfer, or you can pay in the moment if you are paying yourself by card. For any queries that you have, our email address is studentqueries@theirm.org. That's for the student support team. And these are just our general contact details. The number there, the phone number there, is direct to the student support team. And then our website that most of you must already know. So let me stop sharing and go back to you guys, and we can see some of the questions.
Yeah, so Daniel, I've answered a couple of the questions, but there are still a few that perhaps I wasn't able to answer. So hopefully
amazing, Sam. Thank you very much. That will definitely help, because yeah, I am a chatter, so I was looking at the watch and thinking, I think I'm going to run out of time. Okay, so let me see the chat. Okay. Okay, this is where we were before. Public sector, how many hours a week? Study materials. Okay, so someone was asking, I'm trying to decide, Emma. Emma was asking, I'm trying to decide between ICORM and ICERM. What would be your key takeaways from it to help make a decision? So Emma, this is a tough question, but basically what I would say is, what you need to think is what industry or sector you work in, or what sector you want to work in, what you want to take from the course. So operational risk, even though you can focus, you can apply it to any sector, because obviously operations, you have them in every industry and in any organization. It is, as the name says, is focused on the operational side of things, while enterprise risk management sees everything as a bigger picture. So it tries to focus more on the governance side of things, maybe. So it is really depending on what your role is, or what you want to, your role to be. Pakistan, I answered earlier. We have a lot of students from Pakistan, but we don't have an affiliate there yet. Only in India at the moment, I'm afraid, and the one in Kenya opening now. Are all the exams conducted online? So the exams are taken in person in the test center. You do them in a computer, so they are relatively online, but you do have to go somewhere. I noticed, okay, this we answer. Okay, one of the questions there, Sam had answered already. Thank you, Sam. Another one here. Okay, do you supply the software required for the quantitative risk modeling? Sam, do you have any idea about this?
So if it's ICORM, it's not so much a qualification around like quantitative risk modeling. What ICORM is and what it utilizes is ways in which we can use data to inform operational risk management. It's not really around what ICORM isn't is a financial risk qualification. It's an operational risk qualification that touches upon other types of risk, but predominantly operational risk and how we use data to manage operational risk effectively. So if it's something around risk modeling and particularly around kind of like financial risk modeling that you're looking for, I wouldn't suggest ICORM is perhaps what is perhaps best.
So I know quantitative risk modeling is touched in the financial services course in the FS course. I am not sure if we actually supply with the software. I would say we don't. I'm sure you touch it, and if you speak with the module coach, I'm sure he would be able to help in terms of, you know, where you can find this to practice. But it is something that will be covered in the curriculum of the course. ICORM. Okay, that one was answered by Sam. This one as well. You have been busy, Sam. You answered many more than you were saying. Thanks a lot. Is the £100 discount automatically apply when you go through the link? So the way it works is after this webinar, we will send a follow-up email, and then in that follow-up email, you will find a form that you need to fill to enroll in the course. But basically, anyone that comes from that link, anyone that has filled that form, we will know already that we need to apply the £100 discount. As I said, this will happen only until the 22nd of November, so it's 2 weeks from now. I mean, I would say as well, you know, if it is something that your company is sponsoring, or I mean, if communication is key. So if you are 3 days away from the deadline and you let us know, you know, I'm going to pay in 5 days, it will be okay. Like, we're not going to cancel your invoice, but please just get in touch with us and let us know. Did you say that? Yes,
quick one, Daniel. I think there was a question from Yusuke, and apologies if I pronounced that incorrectly, around almost kind of like English as a language. Are you able to just touch on that one?
So was the question if the course is in English only? Was that the question?
If I just repost it here.
Okay, I can't see it here in the chat. Yeah.
Sorry, maybe it was a direct message. Sorry, it was a direct message to me.
Okay. So, let me see. You reposted something?
No, it's right. I might just reply in the message itself.
No problem. Yes, so someone is asking, Mitch is asking, did you say there would be a follow-up email where you would confirm additional reading materials? Yes, exactly. So in the follow-up email, we will confirm any reading materials. As I was saying before, the course where you need to buy the maximum of books is ERM, and that is 2 books. For FS and ICORM is only 1 book. So it wouldn't be more than, you know, around £40 more maximum. And in the follow-up email, we will send you the reading list so you have it and you can have a look. And then we will send the forms to use if you want to register for the course and get the discount. We're also actually going to send to you guys a couple of freebies. So the marketing department put together recently a guide on enterprise risk management that, you know, has some standards and is quite useful. So we will send that to you as well. And I believe that is all. Oh, and what I can send as well is the examination timetable, so everyone has clear when the exams would be. The way it works is, for example, if you enroll now and you're doing it for the June session, within June, there is 1 week where the exams happen, and then you can choose any day within that week. Once you have confirmed your enrollment and your enrollment is complete, you would get an email from Person View, which is called authorization to test. and that email contains instructions on how to book your exam. So you just go to their website and select the slot that you want. Your prospects after the program. What is the job prospects after the program? So this is always a tough question, because the truth is this completely depends on each individual. Like, for example, Sam was mentioning for him getting a professional qualification in risk was key to his career. It seems like, at least that's the impression I got. Some people, study a course and then they don't really do much more with that, or maybe, they wanted to jump into an industry, but then in the end, they just got content in the role where they were. So it really does depend on you. But what I would say is, the Institute of Risk Management has a good reputation worldwide. Our courses are well known, and more importantly, leaving the reputation aside, they do teach what you need to know to work in the industry. So, if you have the knowledge, it is really up to you to, to find ways where you can put that to practice and show it. Yusuke is saying, so I think this is the message that I was mentioning. I am concerned about the issue of English proficiency. I want an audio-based exam or time limit that does not allow time. Is there a system in place that allows for sufficient understanding of the content? So in regard to this, Yusuke, I have to say, unfortunately, the course is taught in English, and we don't have measures that we can apply for people, for example, to have extra time because English is not their first language. We do have special arrangements, for students that have any sort of learning disability, for example, and obviously in this case we do. I believe they get 25% more time, so they have less pressure. But this does not apply to students that language is not their first language. So you are, I believe it mentions on the website, but you are expected to have a level of English that is equivalent to 5.5 in the IELTS. So you don't have to give us any evidence of it. I mean, we just assume if someone enrolls in our course, it is their responsibility to make sure that they are going to understand it. That's why we provide the syllabus beforehand, and you can get all information about the course so you understand how deep it's going to go, basically. But your level should be kind of equivalent to that in the IELTS. Once you're done with the certification exams, what additional courses training can one take from the institute? So if you do the ERM course and the FS course, they actually open the way for you to enroll in the diploma. The diploma is our highest level qualification. It's level 6. ERM and FS are basically the requirement to enroll in the diploma. ICORM is a standalone course because it is, it's quite unique. It's in, and that's it. I see, guys, that we're already out of time. So let me see if there is any super key question. And if not, okay, people are actually saying goodbye. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. So I think we covered everything. Okay, one question, sorry, the last one that O'Neill is asking is, if we have already enrolled, are we able to get the 100 discount back? I would say, O'Neill, if you have already paid for the course, then you wouldn't. If you have just enrolled but not paid for your invoice yet, then get in touch with us in studentqueries@theirm.org and just mention that you attended the webinar. We will definitely apply the discount to your invoice. Okay, so with that, everyone, please watch out for the email that we will send into everyone. After that, any questions that you have, please get in touch with us. Sam, thank you very much. You've been super informative. informative your way. Anything else, everyone, please get in touch, okay?
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. Have a good day.